The Basque Country is an autonomous community of northern Spain. It includes the Basque provinces of Álava, Biscay and Gipuzkoa. The Basque Country, a Basque Autonomous Community, was granted the status of nationality within Spain, attributed by the Spanish Constitution of 1978. The autonomous community is based on the Statute of Autonomy of the Basque Country, a foundational legal document providing the framework for the development of the Basque people on Spanish soil. Although the territory of Navarre was left out and made into a separate autonomous community, currently there is no official capital in the autonomous community, but the city that holds the Basque Parliament, the headquarters of the Basque government and the Basque Autonomous Community's president's residency is Vitoria-Gasteiz, located in the province of Álava. Whilst Vitoria-Gasteiz is the largest municipality in area, with 277 square kilometers, Bilbao is the largest in population, with 353,187 people, located in the province of Biscay with an conurbation of 875,552 people. The term Basque Country may also refer to the larger cultural region, the home of the Basque people, which includes the autonomous community. Geography. The following provinces make up the autonomous community: Álava, capital Vitoria-Gasteiz; Biscay, capital Bilbao, Gipuzkoa, capital Donostia, San Sebastian. Features: the Basque Country borders Cantabria and Burgos province to the west, the Bay of Biscay to the north, France and Navarre to the east, and La Rioja to the south. The territory has three distinct areas, which are defined by the two parallel ranges of the Basque Mountains. The main range of mountains forms the watershed between the Atlantic and Mediterranean basins. The highest point of the range is in the Escudo Massif. The three areas are: Atlantic Basin, formed by many valleys with short rivers that flow from the mountains to the Bay of Biscay, like the Nervion, Urla or Oria. The coast is rough, with high cliffs and small inlets. The main features of the coast are the Bilbao-Alba Bay and the estuary of Bilbao, the Urdaibai estuary and the Bidasoa-Teking Udi Bay that forms the border with France. Middle section. Between the two mountain ranges, the area is occupied mainly by a high plateau called Llana de Alavesa, where the capital Gasteiz is located. The rivers flow south from the mountains to the Ebro River. The main rivers of the Zadorra River and Bias River. Ebro Valley. From the southern mountains to the Ebro is the sea called Rioja Alavesa, which shares the Mediterranean characteristics of other Ebro Valley zones. Some of Spain's production of Rioja wine takes place here. Climate. The Basque Mountains form the watershed and also mark the distinct climatic areas of the Basque Country. The northern valleys, in Biscay and Gipuzkoa, and also the valley of Ayala in Álava, are part of Green Spain, where the oceanic climate is predominant, with its wet weather all year round and moderate temperatures. Precipitation average is about 1,200 mm. The middle section is more influenced by the continental climate, but with a varying degree of the northern oceanic climate. This gives warm, dry summers and cold, snowy winters. The Ebro Valley has a pure continental climate. Winters are colder and dry and summers very warm and dry, with precipitation peaking in spring and autumn. Precipitation is scarce and irregular, as low as 300 mm. Demography. Almost half of the 2,155,546 inhabitants of the Basque Autonomous Community live in Greater Bilbao, Bilbao's metropolitan area. Of the 10 most populous cities, 6 form part of Bilbao's conurbation, which is also known as Greater Bilbao, with 28.2% of the Basque population born outside this region. Immigration is crucial to Basque Basque demographics. Over the 20th century, most of this immigration came from other parts of Spain, typically from Galicia, Castile and Leon. Over recent years, sizable numbers of this population have returned to the birthplaces, and most immigration to the Basque Country now comes from abroad, chiefly from South America. Major cities: Bilbao, Vitoria-Gasteiz, San Sebastián Donostia, Barakaldo, Ghetto, Iran, Portugalete, Santurce, Basauri, Errenteria. Languages: Spanish and Basque are co-official in all territories of the autonomous community. The Basque-speaking areas in the modern-day autonomous community are set against the wider context of the Basque language, spoken to the east in Navarre and the French Basque Country. The whole Basque-speaking territory has experienced both decline and expansion in its history. The Basque language experienced a gradual territorial contraction throughout the last 9 centuries, and very severe deterioration of its socio-linguistic status for much of the 20th century due to heavy immigration from other parts of Spain. The virtual non-existence of Basque language schooling and national policies implemented by the different Spanish regime. After the advent of the Statute of Autonomy of the Basque Country in 1982 following Franco's death, this reductive trend was gradually reversed thanks to the Basque language schools and the new education system. Basque has always had strong presence in most of Gipuzkoa, central and eastern Biscay and the northern edge of Álava, while most Basque speakers in western Biscay and the rest of Álava are second language speakers. The 2006 Socio-Linguistic Survey of all Basque provinces showed that in 2006 of all people aged 16 and above in the Basque Autonomous Community, 30.1% were fluent Basque speakers, 18.3% passive speakers and 51.5% did not speak Basque. The percentage was highest in Gipuzkoa and lowest in Álava. These results represent an increase on previous years. The highest percentage of speakers can now be found in the 16 to 24 age range versus 25.0% in the 65+ age range. History. This section is about the history of the autonomous community since 1978. See also History of the Basque people. The forerunner of the Guernica Statute was the short-lived Statute of Autonomy for Álava, Gipuzkoa and Biscay, which came to be enforced in October 1936 just in Biscay, with the Spanish Civil War already raging, and which was automatically abolished when the Spanish nationalist troops occupied the territory. Before the Spanish Constitution of 1978 and its system of autonomous communities, these 3 provinces were known in Spanish as the Provincias Vascongadas since 1833. The political structure of the new autonomous community is defined in the Guernica Statute, which was approved by a majority in a referendum held on the 25th of October 1979. Nowadays it is one of the most decentralized regions in the world. In this regard it has been described as having more autonomy than just about any other in Europe by The Economist. As regards the bounds to the Spanish Constitution, Basque nationalists cite the fact that in the 1978 Spanish Constitution referendum, which was passed with a majority of votes and a poor turnout in this area, the Basque Country had the highest abstention. To this, the no vote in this referendum was also higher in the Basque Country than in the rest of the state. All in all, many Basques believe that they are not bound to a constitution that they never endorse. The Statute of Autonomy of the Basque Country is an organic law, but powers have been devolved gradually during decades according to renegotiations between the Spanish and the consecutive Basque regional governments to reach an effective implementation representation, while the transfer of many powers are still due and has always been a matter of heated political discussion. Basque nationalists often put down this limitation in the devolution of powers to concessions made to appease the military involved in the 2-3 Qt attempt. In 2003, the governing Basque Nationalist Party proposed to alter this statute through the Ibarrix Plan. The Ibarrix Bill was approved by absolute majority in the Basque Parliament after much discussion, as it was subject to lengthy legal objections, on the grounds that it contradicts the Spanish constitution, that were ultimately overcome. Despite its mandate of the majority of the autonomous parliament, the main two parties in Spain imposed a blockade on a discussion of the plan in the Spanish parliament, resulting in its rejection for debate by a large majority of that parliament in January 2005. Since the first autonomic cabinet, the Basque Nationalist Party has held office in the Basque Autonomous Community except for a 2009 to 2012 term, led by Patxi López. The current Basque Prime Minister is Inigo Urkullu, also a member of the Basque Nationalist Party. Politics. Government. The current laws configure the autonomous community as a federation of its present-day 3 constituent provinces. These Western Basque districts kept governing themselves by their own laws and institutions even after the Castilian conquest in 1200. The new king upheld their institutional system issued from the consuetudinary law prevalent in Basque and Pyrenean territories. This limited self-government, similar to the one for Navarre, was partially suppressed in 1839 and totally in 1876 in exchange for an agreement on tax collection and a number of administrative prerogatives. These in turn were suspended under Franco for Gipuzkoa and Biscay, but restored by the Spanish Constitution of 1978. The post-Franco Spanish Constitution of 1978 acknowledges historical rights and attempts compromise in the old conflict between centralism and the different national identities. A specific approach to the national realities in Spain was eventually diffused by granting autonomous administrations and parliaments to all regions of Spain, while the Basques, Catalans, and Galicians were acknowledged with historic specificity. Provincial governments with actual relevant attributes were restored only in the autonomous communities of the Basque Country and Navarre, after the latter detached from the Basque political process. The provinces in the Basque Country still perform tax collection in the respective territories, but with limited margin in decision-making under the Spanish and European governments. Under this intricate system, the Diputacions Forales administer most of each of the provinces but are coordinated by the autonomous Basque government. The autonomous community has its own police force, controls education and health systems, and has a Basque radio, TV station. These and only some of the powers acknowledged in the Guernica Statute have since 1980 been transferred to the autonomous community by the Cortes Generales under the Guernica Statute. The seats of the Basque Parliament and government are in Vitoria-Gasteiz, so this is the capital city de facto, but the Basque Autonomous Community has no capital de jure. The parliament is composed of 25 representatives from each of the 3 provinces. The Basque parliament elects the lehendakari, who forms a government following regular parliamentary procedures. Until 2009, all lehendakaris have been members of the Basque Nationalist Party since 1978. Despite the continued leadership role, they have not always enjoyed majorities for their party and have needed to form coalitions with either Spain-wide parties or left-leaning Basque nationalist parties, often governing in a difficult minority position. Since 1982 until the late 1990s, Basque nationalists, ideologically closer to ETA, refused to turn out in the Basque parliament, a significant wedge of the parliament. Currently, the Basque government is headed by Inigo Urkullu. In the 2012 Basque parliamentary election, the PNV obtained a plurality of the votes, followed by the left-wing nationalist coalition Bildu. Present-day political dynamics. ETA's permanent ceasefire opened the possibility of new governmental alliances and has enabled Bildu's electoral success and rise to governmental institutions. Territorial issues. The statute, insofar as it is addressed and provides an administrative framework for the Basque people, provides the mechanisms for neighboring Navarre to join the three western provinces if it wishes to do so. Since at least part of it is ethnically Basque, the Basque government used the Lorak bat, which included the arms of Navarre, as its symbol for many years. The Navarrese government protested, and tribunals ruled in the favor. The Basque government replaced it with an empty red field. Navarre is one of the historical Basque territories and even claimed by the Basque nationalists as the core of the Basque nation. There are also two enclaves surrounded by Basque territory, Trevino and Vale de Villaverde, which belong to the fellow neighboring communities of Castile and Leon and Cantabria respectively, for which a legal connection to the Basque country has become an on-off matter of political discussion. Economy. The Basque Autonomous Community ranks first in Spain in terms of per capita income, with gross domestic product per capita being 40% higher than that of the European Union and 33.8% higher than Spain's average in 2010, at €31,314. Industrial activities were traditionally centered on steel and shipbuilding, mainly due to the rich iron ore resources found during the 19th century around Bilbao. The estuary of Bilbao was the center of the Basque Country's industrial revolution during the 19th and the first half of the 20th century. These activities decayed during the economic crisis of the 1970s and 1980s, giving ground for the development of the services sector and new technologies. Today, the strongest industrial sectors of the Basque Country's economy are machine tool, present in the valleys of Biscay and Gipuzkoa, aeronautics in Vitoria-Gasteiz, and energy in Bilbao. The main companies in the Basque Country are BBVA Bank, Iberdrola Energy Company, Mondragon Cooperative Corporation, MCC, the largest cooperative in the world, Gamesa wind turbine producer and CAF rolling stock producer. MCC's business leadership in the Basque Country hangs in the balance after FAGA, its flagship cooperative of household appliances and goods manufacturing, declared bankruptcy in 2014. 8 in 10 Spanish municipalities with the lowest unemployment rates lay across this autonomous community in 2015, standing out such towns as Arrasate, Portugalete and Baracaldo with a strong manufacturing industrial makeup. The Basque Autonomous Community ranked above other communities in Spain in terms of resilience in the face of the economic crisis, going on to become a beacon and matter of study in Europe. In 2013, the Basque Country outperformed Spain in several parameters, but economic overall figures were highly variable. Spanish figures are subject to conspicuous seasonal fluctuation, relying on its tourist and services sectors, while Basque performance is rather based on mid- and long-term results according to its more industrial approach. Unemployment in this autonomous community rises to 15.76%, the lowest in Spain at a percentage higher than the EU average, but still way ahead of the Spanish overall of around 26%, the second highest rate in the EU. In regards to GDP performance, 2013 was a negative year for the Basque Autonomous Community. It underwent a decline rate in GDP of -1.9%, somewhat higher than the Spanish percentage, -1.2%. In the last term of 2013, the public debt of the Basque Autonomous Community stood at 13.00% of its GDP, totaling €3,753 per capita, as compared to Spain's overall 93.90%, totaling €20,383 per capita. Basque government's high-ranking officials, as well as Basque-based party leaders and personalities, have protested and voiced the concern for the detrimental effects austerity measures passed by the Spanish government as of 2011, overruling Basque taxation powers, may be having on industry and trade, especially export. The former have strongly advocated for a participation along with Navarre in the ECOFIN with a full membership, in order to defend Basque interests in line with its own reality and fiscal status, and not as a Spanish subsidiary. Transport. The strategic geographical location of the Basque Country as a link between the northwest and center of Spain and the rest of Europe makes this territory heavily transited. Road. The main backbones of road transport are the A8 motorway, which links Bilbao, San Sebastian and the French border, and the A1 motorway, which links San Sebastian and Gasteiz with central Spain. Other important routes include the AP68 motorway, which links Bilbao with the Mediterranean. Rail. Euskotren Bidesarea is the Basque government-owned company that maintains and creates the railway infrastructure in the autonomous region. Euskotren is the Basque government-owned narrow-gauge rail company that operates commuter services in Bilbao and San Sebastian, Intercity Bilbao-San Sebastian service, and Euskotren tram services in Bilbao and Vitoria-Gasteiz. Metro Bilbao operates the two metro lines that serve the Greater Bilbao area. The Spanish government owns two main Renfe broad-gauge lines that link Gasteiz with San Sebastian and Bilbao with central Spain. It also operates Cercanías commuter lines in both Bilbao and San Sebastian. FEVE Narrow-Gauge Company operates a commuter line between Bilbao and Balmaseda and links Bilbao with the rest of northern Spain. A new high-speed network currently under construction will link the three capitals in Y formation. It is scheduled to be completed in 2017, including a connection with the French TGV network in Hendaye. Because of the rough geography of the territory, most of the network will run through tunnels, with a total estimated cost of up to €10 billion. The estimated ecological impact of the project has encouraged the formation of a group campaigning against it called Autarquías del Catalana. The group uses social disobedience to oppose the project and promotes referendums against it in the towns it affects most. In spite of the vocal opposition to the project of this and other community groups, work continues, not without uncertainty. In early 2015, an estimate suggested that the average Basque intercity fare would rise to a non-competitive €25, while the Spanish central government's funding has been subject to continuous delays, spurring the irritation of the Basque government in Vitoria-Gasteiz. Airports. The three capitals have airports: Bilbao Airport International, Vitoria Airport, San Sebastian Airport. Of the three, the most important hub and entry point to the Basque Country is Bilbao Airport, offering many international connections. Over 4,200,000 passengers passed through it in 2007. Seaports. The two most important ports are the Port of Bilbao and the Port of Pasaya. There are other minor fishing ports like Bermeo and Ondaro. The Port of Bilbao is by far the most important in the Basque Country and the north of Spain, being the fourth most important in Spain with over 38 million tons of traffic. All cruising routes arrive in Bilbao and there is a ferry service linking Bilbao with Portsmouth. Cuisine. Basque cuisine is an important part of Basque culture. According to the chef Heralder, San Sebastian, in terms of the average quality of the food, In terms of what you can get at any place you happen to walk into, maybe it is, probably it is, yes, the best in the world. The most popular dishes of seafood, fish and pinsos bar finger food. Basque food is one of the reasons for tourism to the Basque Country, especially the pinsos. A popular way to socialize is ir de pinsos, or texequiteo, a Basque version of a pub crawl, albeit generally more civilized. Sports. Basque rural sports, known as herikirolak in Basque, are a number of sports competitions rooted in the traditional lifestyles of the Basque people. For example, Basque pelota. The Basque Country is also home to former national football champions Athletic from Bilbao and Real Sociedad from San Sebastian. When Spain won the 2010 FIFA World Cup, Xabi Alonso became the only Basque player to win both the World Cup and the Club European Cup. Athletic is the most successful club in the community, and has a strict policy of employing only players born or trained in the Basque Country. In spite of this, the club shares with worldwide heavyweights Real Madrid and FC Barcelona the distinction of being the only clubs never to have been relegated from the top flight. Notable people. Some notable Basque people from this administrative jurisdiction include Francisco de Vitoria, philosopher who set the theories of just war, international law and freedom of commerce. Joan Sebastian Elcano completed first circumnavigation of the earth. Ignatius of Loyola, founder of the Jesuits. Don Juan de Onate, explorer of the Great Plains and Colorado River. Blas de Lezo, naval strategist, best remembered for his defensive tactics at the Battle of Cartagena de Indias. George Otis, a sculptor. Paco Rabanne, fashion designer. Cristobal Balenciaga, fashion designer. Xabi Alonso and Mikel Arteta, footballers. Ed Pasarban, first woman to climb all of the 14 8,000 peaks in the world. Elena Ozak, best female chef in the world. John Cortajarena, male model. Jose Maria Cundon, artist. Fernando Cerveta, philosopher. Miguel de Unamuno, essayist, novelist, poet, playwright, philosopher.